Hello, it's Petrus Engelbrecht, Senior Vice President Sales at Sotheby's International Realty, and today we are chatting with Stephan Bobesich, my friend and client. Stephan and I have known each other for quite a while, and today I want to find out more about what Stephan does for a living and what his life is looking like at the moment. So Stephan, welcome.
Yes, thank you, Petrus. Thank you, Petrus. And again, it's good to see your friendly face. I know we've chatted on the phone a couple times during this isolation time, but yeah, it's always nice to chat with you.
Stephan, tell us what do you do? I know you with one of the big banks. I don't know whether you guys are allowed to say which bank you're at, but tell us what you do at the bank.
Yeah, no, thanks, Petrus. Yeah, no, I do work for one of the large Canadian banks. It used to be based out of downtown Toronto, but now, as you all know, I'm home 24/7 now. So I do manage the technical recruitment and talent management for one of the large banks. Our focus right now is heavy on cybersecurity, with a lot of the attacks as a result of COVID-19 have increased up to 300%.
Wow.
So we are really struggling, as is many other corporations, to really evolve very quickly and find this top talent. Which can be difficult because there's only a handful of these folks out there, and we need all the help we can get. So that's what I've been spending my days doing. However, there's a new element. I do have a 4-year-old and an almost 2-year-old in September, and they've been home full time during this pandemic. So I really do appreciate daycare now.
Yes.
And what it takes to manage a small group of children for the entire day, so we can get on with our lives and be successful in our jobs. So that's definitely added a new challenge. I
must say I've got all the respect in the world. I feel, I suppose, lucky that my children are way older. I've got 2 at university and one 13-year-old, and I can't even help her with math or anything anymore. It's my wife helps a little bit, but man, I thinking of people like you that have to manage all of that during this time, and I suppose it takes a lot of planning, and some of it you can't plan for, right?
Correct. And again, my wife is also working full time, right? So we're both working full time at home. So it does present some challenges.
Yeah.
But Petrus, my wife very well. She's extremely organized and is a spreadsheet queen and a calendar queen. So we've got every minute of the day accounted for, and activities built in there. And basically what we've been doing is taking shifts. So I may take the 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. shift of work. And then I'll watch the kids for an hour or two, and then my wife will take the 10 a.m. to noon shift. Well, they'll have lunch. Thankfully, one of my children still naps, so we get a 2.5 hour window there of a break, and my older son can just watch TV or just kind of relax. And then we get back in the kind of the shift program once everyone's back up and at it. So it is what it is.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I immediately thought that was probably the case. You guys are my ideal type of client when, planning is key in any transaction. And this is basically like going to war. You have to be extremely disciplined, I suppose, and know exactly how you want to do it. I want to come back to what you do. And as you say, there's very few cybersecurity guys out there. I always want to try and connect people, and we'll touch base after this chat, but I definitely have somebody that you might want to chat with. So yeah, that's interesting. And then so in your opinion, I suppose a lot of stuff is going online. There's much more activity. We see it in our practice as well. Obviously, everything is going virtual now. There's much more activity, properties being looked at online. Activity on websites are up about 30 to 40%, which is crazy. And we also are doing now 3D tours or Matterport tours on every single listing. And it's very nice. We can see the statistics on how many people are going through those. And bearing in mind, if you tour a Matterport tour and you go through a house, it's basically a showing. not physical, people aren't physically going through, but we can now tell our clients, yes, we've only had X amount of showings, physical showings, but guess what? We've had 200 or 300 people actually walk through your property virtually. So we are seeing a huge increase in that. And so I suppose the banks would still be very active, and you would still be very actively looking for talent, as you say, to help with that increased online presence, right?
Correct. And what I've seen, I think one of the biggest themes I've seen during this this crisis is that those radical ideas are almost becoming mainstream, right?
Yeah.
It's like we have to evolve by the second. We can't have 20 meetings about a meeting and then then it has to be escalated up and approved and what have you, right? It's like
action.
It's also proving that, like, even some of the most regulated red tape organizations, such as a bank, can make dramatic changes in a very brief period of time, which is nice and encouraging, right? Because sometimes you're forced to evolve, and something like this has caused that. And I think it's going to be great when we come out of this, and things are going to be a lot more efficient and smoother and a lot more people focused, right? It's not really about profits anymore and making the most money. It's about people and the impact it has on people and what we can do to help people during this time, right? And make things as easy as possible.
Absolutely. It's all the focus is all, I'm doing a revisit this afternoon where one of my clients bought a property, and there's such a focus on safety and protocol and keeping people safe. My client, the buyer, wanted to take through 3 contractors to see what their quotes might possibly be, to do quite a few things at the house. And there's such a people focus that if every single one of them did not sign a indemnity, which I have to organize, they would not be let in. It's all about people's safety. It's all about the human aspect of a transaction at the moment. And one can, if you do high volume, easily lose focus about what the really important things are. So, every dark cloud has a silver lining. I'm seeing lots of silver linings. I'm a bit of a glass half full type of guy, very positive about life and the positive things that come from these things, So I love technology, and I love implementing it. And I was joking yesterday with a colleague to say I'm a bit of a bleeding edge guy as opposed to leading edge. I always want to be the first, but I am more measured these days. I will decide whether a product would work for my benefit and for my clients' benefit, and then I would see how I can integrate it. So I'm constantly innovating, especially now that we have a little bit more time to focus on it, but I don't want to be bleeding edge. But yeah, I see lots of positives coming out of this, especially in the property market. A lot of these things will, as you say, keep on going. It's not we do this now and then we'll forget about it later. These things will hopefully become a part of the landscape permanently and be for the better going forward.
No, and that's a great point you brought up, and I think that's one of the reasons, right? I mean, me and my wife, we are in that kind of millennial bracket, right? And done a number of property transactions with you. And the thing I will say is that's besides you being a great person and a people person and very friendly and customer focused, you're always at the bleeding edge of technology, and that resonates with us, right? It's like that's a differentiator in my opinion, right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you're willing to take the risks to try for the reward, right? So
absolutely, thank you. I had a nice chat with my wife yesterday, and I think a lot of people, and understandably so. There's very different types of personalities out there. Yes, I don't like change. I don't love change, but I like it for the betterment of certain things. And again, I can see a lot of positives from a business process point of view coming out of this, specifically in my industry, and I fully embrace that. Whereas I don't think all agents will, and my heart goes out to them. I think you have to embrace a lot of stuff very quickly, see how it will help your clients. And I'm not originally from Canada, but the Wayne Gretzky saying of skating towards the puck where the puck will be, not where the puck is. So I like skating to where the puck will be. And I think I've got a very clear vision of what this new technology and this new age will bring. And I'm already skating to where the puck will be. So I get excited about stuff like that. Yeah. Very millennial of me, even though I'm way removed.
Just a couple of years out, right? Just a couple of years out of the window. But what I found interesting too is how almost, or you've said it a couple of times, almost Canada's a little bit behind, because I know in our last transaction you said back in South Africa, all the paperwork and everything would be on like a little smart key. You would just plug it into your laptop, boom, 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 everything would be there, and then you would just move on. Where here it's still very manual, still wet signatures are required, etc.
That has changed. That was the first thing that changed, is one can now close 100% electronically. So now you have a situation where if somebody could sit abroad, the lawyer can on FaceTime make sure that this is the correct client. So they can identify the client on FaceTime or any other type of video technology. And then you can sign via DocuSign, which is great. The one thing that really is, and sorry for it's a pet peeve of mine, is that we're still writing checks. So when I was a property lawyer in South Africa, if you close today, tomorrow the agent, buyer, and seller has their money in their bank account and reflecting in their bank account. I still had a colleague yesterday saying that on 3 transactions she's waiting for a check. Which is, I cannot understand why we're not all embracing electronic fund transfer. That would have been great. I kid you not, in the year 2000 in South Africa, everything was done electronic. When I got to Canada 10 years ago, I had not written a check in maybe 5 years. Like, I did not own a checkbook in South Africa. It's all electronic. So I would love to get to a stage where we go way more electronic. So you are born and bred in Oakville, right, Stephen?
Yeah, no, I am. Oh, no, sorry. That's not entirely accurate. I was born in Sudbury, Ontario, way up north.
Okay.
And then my family moved here when I was about 2 years old, so I don't really remember, obviously, the move. However, both sets of grandparents still lived in Sudbury when I was growing up, so I would often spend months at a time during the summer months in Sudbury. But basically, since 3 years old, I haven't left Oakville.
This is your place. This is your place, and obviously planning to stay here. It's such a great city. Even though the city fathers call it, and have made a decision to call it the town of Oakville, it is a city by definition. It's such a great town. Lovely place to bring up your children. Voted most livable city in Canada a few times now, as recently as last year, I believe, as well. So that must be part of the reason why you want to be here.
Exactly. And I think, honestly, that's really helped during this isolation time, because I can leave my front door, I have my children with me, and I can walk down a street and I won't see another person, for the duration of my walk. So I don't have to worry about getting too close. I don't have to worry about social distancing, because I know, and if I do see someone, they'll just simply cross the street and, we'll be on our way and we'll wave hello. And everyone's so friendly here. That's the other part I love is, everyone says hello. Everyone asks how your day is doing, no matter who you are, where you're walking. I feel like everyone's just quite friendly and outgoing, which is I think great. And that's really that's one of the reasons you want to stay here, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I find the same. I walk the dogs relatively early in the morning, and I might see 1 or 2 other people, and that's in stark contrast to people that live in Toronto that have to be in condos. They might go out once or twice a day. It's not a pleasure. So it's lovely to be in such a livable space, or lots of trails to go and walk on if you want to, and parks and so forth. One can now actually go and sit in a park. Not that you can play on any of the equipment, but we're getting there.
No, we are, and that's going to be great when that's opened back up. Well, it's funny. I was at was at a party before all this happened. And it was a couple that just actually moved to Oakville. They actually just lived down the street from us, which is great. And I was meeting some of their friends. They're kind of like Toronto folks, you know, kind of born and raised in the big city kind of thing. And all their friends are obviously from Toronto around here. And they're like, wow, we've never actually met someone who's from Oakville and stayed in Oakville, which I thought was an interesting comment, right? Because I'm like, why would you not want to stay here? Like, there's like in my opinion, there's no reason to leave, right?
Yeah. Is there any other place?
Yeah. So yeah, they mostly run into people that recently moved to Oakville, but yeah, it was just it just, you know, it stuck with me. That's like, wow, we've never actually met someone who's went to school here, raised here, and stayed here, right? So
yeah, lovely, man. Okay, well, thank you so much for chatting with us today. I really appreciate your time, and good to hear that some people have their stuff together, have spreadsheets and rosters and stuff, and that's really the way to go. I think, you know, to be very organized about this, and you know, keep working until we can get back to some kind of I know some people don't want to say this, but it's some kind of new normal. Just, you know, keep being very disciplined and keep a nice rhythm to the day. I think that's absolutely key.
Again, I'm going to give my wife all the credit for keeping me organized. I mean, without her, I'd probably be wandering around somewhere, not knowing what to do. So
awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much, and give my regards to your wife.
Yes, thank you so much, Petrus.